Hey guys, welcome back to another music review right here on the Brad Judge channel. And today I'm going to be talking about one band and one band only, and that's because I want to give them a great review. I want to give them a lonely review, and it's because it's a band that deserves to be talked about in great detail. And I know some people out there don't really like the band because of certain things that happened over the years. But I think they've proven themselves. Um, I'll have to say, first of all, let's get it out of the way. Today we're going to be reviewing Metallica, um, and basically what I think about them, and kind of give my lowdown on the albums, and let you know what I think about their albums, because they have a huge catalog, and some bands that I want to go back and review singly, separately, I will do that. And I know I have Shinedown that I'll probably do a review somewhat like this, a band that definitely deserves to be, critically broken down like this, album by album, and I will be doing that. That's my next band I will be doing this with. Metallica definitely deserves to be broken down like this because I know at around the time of before Saint Anger, around S&M time, things started to happen when Napster and all that other jazz happened, and that's when the controversy started to arise about they're all about the money. And I think that all bands were all about the money back then. And it's not being all about the money; it's being compensated for your songs. And I understand where they were coming from, but I think the way they did it was really, really out of whack. I mean, in a day when I think it's just older bands not understanding what was happening, and it was a change. And if you look back at it today, it's just stupidity because unlike some other bands, Metallica is actually on Spotify now. So explain that to me, how Metallica allows their songs to be on Spotify now, but back in the day didn't want to be on Napster. Explain that. I don't understand. But anyways, moving on, let's talk about Metallica. Let's start with the first album, Kill 'Em All. Now, Kill 'Em All, I haven't listened to a lot. I had the album at one point. A lot of people will say, it was a really, really great album. I wasn't a huge fan of it. Like, I really don't prefer the first three CDs. I'm not a huge fan of. I don't really remember all like what's on those three CDs, but I don't think I never owned Masters of Puppets, and I've never owned Ride the Lightning, but I do know what's on the CDs, and those three, Master of Puppets, Ride the Lightning, Kill 'Em All, never really kind of drew my attention from Metallica. I know they have some good songs on there, but they never really drew my attention. There are some good songs on there, but to me, they got better after those three albums. Those three albums were good. They had some good songs on them. I'm not blowing them off. I'm not saying they're bad albums. I'm just saying that they're not any of my favorite. So this is kind of an opinion. And if you want to know what Metallica sounds like, if you've never heard Metallica, which that's crazy if no one has ever heard Metallica. If you've never heard Metallica, they are a metal band that have fierce vocals from James Hetfield. That's basically in your face, and it's really kind of a deep, I guess not really a deep, but just a kind of a yelling kind of singing, and it's really I like the way he sings. It's hard to describe how the music is, kind of, because it's almost like a yelling in a song fashion. I guess, is that the best way to describe it? That's the way I would describe it. But Master Puppets Ride the Lightning, Kill 'Em All never really hit me. And Justice for All was one of the first albums, I believe. I heard Metallica the Black Album. But before I get to that, talk about that, I heard Metallica the Black Album. It blew me away. I wanted to hear more. And the next album I got to hear was And Justice for All. I could be wrong. I may actually have heard Load before before that. But And Justice for All was one of the past albums that blew me away. I love that album. It was just so much of a chill album. Like, it's not really a chill album, but it's one that hit me and made me really like Metallica, because Harvester of Sorrow was on there, One was on there, um, and there's other good songs on there too that really people don't ever talk about really that much, um, or they don't get a lot of mention, like hit the mainstream, or even between the metal world. Like, they don't really mention those songs like in passing a lot. They're always talking about, Harvester of Sorrow or One, or you know. Uh, albums, or Enter Sandman and Sad But True off of the Metallica. Those are the ones that people really talk about. Is all the songs are on the Black Album. I don't really hear people talking a lot about the album and Justice for All, and I love that album. It's like it's one of my favorite Metallica albums. Um, I'll tell you that, because I just loved it. I had the cassette, I had the CD, I had I listened to it on Spotify a while back, and I like the album. I don't know why people haven't talked about it more than what they have. I haven't heard them name drop that album at all. Then we move on to Metallica, the Black Album. This is the one that I first heard from Metallica. My stepmother had it, and I listened to it. Kind of shocked that she had it, but I think that was the only album she owned of them, and really the only thing she cared to listen from them. But Enter Sandman, Sad But True, Holier Than Thou, Unforgiven, Wherever I May Roam, Nothing Else Matters. I mean, there was some other song on there too. There's a couple other songs I liked on there too that people never really talk about. Metallica the Black Album, without a doubt, it is the best album that they have, and I don't think that any band. I mean, I could probably name Jeff Slipknot and Stone Sour. Um, they probably have some, and Marilyn Manson. They got some good CDs that probably uh, mirror that they have albums that were that good. Shinedown, that have that many good songs on a CD. I wouldn't even say Shinedown. Shinedown does not have a song like that. But Manson, Slipknot, Stone Sour, they have CDs where almost every song is a hit song, and that's saying something. I mean, it's hard to do, because when you can almost put any track from an album on the radio and have a hit with it, that's saying something about a band. Really does do it justice, I guess. And then we moved on to, there was a big break. Load came out. Now, Load is a CD that a lot of people do not like. But, in my defense, I liked it. Not really in my defense, but I enjoyed the album. People are going to give me shit for this. I like Load. It's probably my third favorite CD. Here's why. Here's the songs that are on this album: Ain't My Bitch, King Nothing, Until It Sleeps, Hero of the Day, Bleeding Me, Poor Twisted Me, and other songs on this album is just awesome. I love the CD. If you hated Load back in the day because it was the thing to do, go back and check it out again, because I don't know what people were talking about. Like, this album was amazing. I love this album. I think this was just around the time that they hadn't put an album out since the Napster thing, or the Napster thing was happening at the time of this thing, and people were just shooting them down, like, for no reason during this time. And I understand why. But actually, no, this was like 96, so why were they even... I don't know why. They were calling them sellouts during this time. I don't understand. They cut their hair. I think that's why people were complaining and bitching about it. They cut their freaking hair. Good shit. I was more complaining about Shinedown cutting his hair, because that was just a stupid move. Like, why the hell would he do that? But Metallica, they're like old. Like, who cares? They're gonna cut their hair eventually. I mean, dang, man. Probably had gray in it anyway. They probably had to cut their hair to dye it. Still look cool. Yeah, Load, I love the album, dude. So, I mean, I don't know what people were talking about. I love... Ain't My Bitch is one of my favorite songs. like for Metallica, like personally. Like I thought it was an awesome song. And Poor Twisted Me and Bleeding Me are two songs I never really hear people talk about, and those two songs are amazing to me. I think one of them's like a slow tempo one, and it's really really good. Like I love those songs. But yeah, definitely go check out Load. If you guys didn't like it originally, go check it out. Then Reload came out. Quick story: I got to see Metallica in concert. I was very excited for that. Um, I got to see them. This was the year around the time I went and seen them live in Indianapolis. Reload came out in '97. Fuel, Memory Remains. Low Man's Lyric was some good songs on there. I think there was whatever. It was okay album. It wasn't as good as Load, and people like Reload better for some reason. Like what? Like it wasn't even that good. Like it was okay, but um, I don't like The Unforgiven 2. I think it was on Reload, and I didn't like it. Some people did. I thought it was okay, but to me, I just didn't like it. I'm pretty sure it was on Reload, and I didn't really know. No, didn't like it at all. Um, then they released Garage Inc., which was a cover CD. They had some really good stuff on here, and I didn't really go back and listen to this until Saint Anger came out, um, because I was like, yeah. Because I heard Turn the Page, and and let me say this with a grain of salt. Let me say this really slow, and hopefully people don't take offense to it. Um, I don't like who originally wrote Turn the Page, so why would I want to listen to it from Metallica? Yeah. Anyways, um, but Tuesday's Gone. They did Tuesday's Gone. Why? I liked it. I liked it. I thought it was pretty cool. Die Die, My Darling. I like that. At the time, I didn't know who sung it. And probably like 4 years later, I figured out who sung it. And I was like, hey, they had a couple originals on the garage seat. No, they didn't. I'm just stupid. Whiskey in a Jar was okay. Um, and they had some other good songs on there. But those are really the, the best, in my opinion, from the garage cover city. Um, I remember all these coming out because I used to actually go to the. I was buying CDs like quite often during this period. S&M came out. I wasn't. No, 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 no. Why would? Why am I going to buy a CD with all your hits with an orchestra behind you? Why am I going to do that? Metallica. No. I can understand they're saying something about them selling out around this period. But nobody said anything about them selling out during this period. Oh no, it was during the Load days. Anyways, um, then we get Saint Anger. Saint Anger, people are mixed on it. I think there's people are split. Metallica fans are split with Saint Anger. Some people hated it. Some people loved it. Some people think it's eh. But for the most part, it's either you love it or hate it. I didn't like it at first. I shit all over it when it first came out, and I didn't like it. But then um, I saw the documentary called Some Kind of Monster. That movie was amazing. And if you haven't checked Some Kind of Monster out, which is a Metallica documentary about the making of Saint Anger, definitely check it out. Because after I watched that and got to see how they made the album and how much, how do I say this, pressure they put on themselves to come out with a great album, um, I kind of had a new respect for them and gained a little respect for them in that way. But the album, I mean, it seems like after I watched that movie, I liked it better. I liked the album better. And I actually didn't know some of the songs on there, and I heard some of the songs on the documentary, and I'm like, what track is that? And I had to figure out what track it was. Because Some Kind of Monster, that song is amazing. I love Some Kind of Monster. Um, and I think like a couple of songs at the beginning of the album. It's not a huge album that I like. I like a lot of songs off of, but I think I like about 4 or 5 songs on Saint Anger. It's really not a bad album. I would probably put it up there with the original 3 as far as how much I like them. how much I like it, but a little bit higher because to me it kind of fits in there with And Justice for All, where it's one of those albums where I enjoy and I would listen to over and over again. Um, but those first three, I'm just not a huge fan of. I never really fell in love with them. Maybe I just need to listen to them more. Maybe I will. I don't know. I don't know. Some people reference the songs from those. I just don't know because I haven't really listened to them that much. Then we get Death Magnetic, and I know there's a new album out. I haven't really listened to much of it, so I can't really review that. Maybe I'll do a separate review on that later on. I don't know. Probably not. Probably not. I haven't heard much good stuff from it, so not a huge fan. But Death Magnetic came out, and I don't think the new album is on Spotify. If I'm thinking right, because I know there's a new album. I'm pretty sure there's a new album. But Death Magnetic came out, and I didn't really like it. I didn't really like much of the songs off Death Magnetic. I tried to listen to it like multiple times now, and I'm just not a fan. I just don't like Death Magnetic. It's I don't know how to explain it. Like I can't like I start listening to it and it's like no, I just can't get into it. Like I just not a fan. I heard it's not bad, but I just can't get through like listening to it. Um, to me, it just misses the point with it, and they're trying to do something. It's almost like they're trying to do the same thing. Oh, I turn you on. Um, it's like they're trying to do something they're trying to do with Saint Anger, but they couldn't reproduce what they did with Saint Anger, and it just misses all the buttons. And to me, I mean, there's some good songs people say they like, um, but it seems like it's getting a little bit a little bit better response than Saint Anger did, which isn't saying a lot because it didn't really have a huge following in the mainstream. I don't think it sort of did, but you still see a ton of Saint Anger albums out there because it wasn't that huge of a hit with people in the mainstream. It was kind of more of I'm a hardcore Metallica fan. I'm gonna buy the album, that kind of thing. And for me, I'm not really a hardcore Metallica fan. I don't follow them because I'd rather buy something else. If I was buying CDs, which I don't really buy CDs much anymore. So there you go. If they're like a buck, I'll buy them. If you get what I'm saying. So this is a long music review. This was Metallica. They were due to have a good review. And I hope you guys enjoyed this longer music review. It was super long. If you didn't last all the way through it, I apologize. But this is a thing I will be doing with some of the major bands. And if you're not a fan of this kind of thing, well, I apologize. I will try and do shorter ones from now on. But this is a one and done kind of thing. And certain bands I'm going to do this. Probably Marilyn Manson, possibly Shinedown. I'll do a review of the albums and what I thought about them. We'll see where it goes. I wanted to try this out and see what the attention got. People enjoyed it. And I can do custom thumbnails now. So if you made it this far, you'll notice that you'll hear me talking about this. If not, then you won't hear me talking about this because you didn't make it this far. Anyway, custom thumbnails now, and I can do it on the channel, which is I'm really happy for that. So hope you guys enjoyed the review of Metallica. Let me know your comments down below about what is your favorite top three Metallica albums, and keep rocking and keep listening to music.